Welcome back for another show of Eye on Paulsboro. If we look like we're dressed the same, it's because we shot the openings for 2 shows on one day, so we are dressed the same. By the way, we're coming to you from the lobby here at Historic Hill Studio on Broad Street. Irma, this show, we're leading into a few things. The town's going to celebrate Juneteenth, which is really very unique and a very, very important day for so many people, and just coming into focus as a day of observance. And then we're getting ready to revive the 4th of July parade that took last year off because of the pandemic.
I'm looking for a costume, John. My son said I'm too old to march. I told him, be quiet. I'm marching down again.
I think it's fig leaf time to really set the stage.
Oh, I do. I mean, I need my steps.
I mean, fig leaf, Irma.
Oh, fig. Oh, well. We'll see, John.
I think that would be a real attraction.
Oh.
So I have no idea what this show's going to be because we're going to piece this together in pieces. Amy says we've got a number of things still in the can with Congressman Norcross, with Marc, who is the head of CAMcare. We're going to try and work that in here as well, and maybe a special guest to work in before the program finishes. You're going to see it as we see it, so stay with us. We're coming right back. One of our guests will be Marc Kamp. We're going to give details on the 4th of July parade because a number of towns around us still aren't having it. So the Friends of the 4th is going to be more important this year because we've got a chance maybe to pick up a band or two. So stay with us. We're coming right back, and we hope you enjoy the show because Irma and I are going to enjoy it when we finally see it.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome to Eye on Paulsboro. A special guest, Congressman Donald Norcross, is in town for a number of reasons, but mainly to make some announcements of CAMcare. We are socially distanced, by the way. We are outside, both vaccinated, and have individual microphones. So we're doing our very best to follow the rules, keep everybody safe. So first of all, Congressman, welcome to you. And thank you, by the way, because listening to your remarks, you know, the work in Washington is at one level, but getting this money into towns and small towns and communities, it's a big deal. And the argument to make the case for New Jersey, although a little easier now under this new president, still takes focus. So I see a lot of your hand in some of the structure of programs coming to the state.
One of the most important issues with the American Recovery Act are 4 items: shots in the arms, kids safely back to school, money in the pocket, and people back in jobs. That's the focus of where we're going. And why the American Rescue Plan becomes different from some of our previous bills is this money goes directly to the towns, go directly to the school districts. The state will not have the ability to hold the money back.
Now, Donald, are you suggesting that we would hold money?
Never.
Remember,
it just doesn't come out as quickly.
Yeah, remember, the good congressman served in the General Assembly and the Senate before he moved on to representatives in Washington. I'd say that tongue-in-cheek, of course, because he's absolutely correct about this flowing directly.
No, and that's incredible. We've seen over the course of the first 4 months of this administration a remarkable change in terms of planning and having predictable sources for the vaccine. And what a change it's making.
And Congressman, you know, shifting gears, you know, we all watched what took place in the nation's capital on January 6th. You were in session, correct? I mean, obviously you guys were there.
There were a group of 30 members from the Democratic side who were on the floor. I was sitting right behind Jim Clyburn, our majority whip. And it was a normal session. Nancy was the speaker at the time, and all of a sudden she was whisked off the rostrum, which caught people's eye. But when the number 2 and number 3 in leadership on both sides of the aisle were quickly taken out of the room, it caught people's attention. Now, people were starting to look at their devices, but there's always protests going on. At no time did I believe it was going to grow into what we now know. But then they shut down the proceedings, and the police came on and made an announcement that the Capitol had been breached. Sitting in our nation's capital on the floor of the House of Representatives to hear that the Capitol has been breached. The last time that happened, it was the British when they were invading. But we stayed there, and then they came back on and said, tear gas has been dispensed in the rotunda. Wow. So you could hear the banging starting on the doors, and they started to have us gathered to evacuate the floor of the House and go through the tunnels underneath the Capitol complex. You know, I'm young and in good shape. Not every member of Congress is up to this, and there was some having quite a bit of difficulty, a lot of steps. And as we were going down the one set of stairs in what they call the speaker's lobby, that's when you heard a shot fired. I didn't know it at the time, but that's when the woman tried to break through the window and get into the chamber where the members were. It became very real for a lot of people, particularly those younger staffers who were literally shaking in fear. It's still hard to put your hands around. Our Capitol was breached by insurrectionists who wanted to take over.
You, of course, were there. That's why I asked the question. Now, you know, we're taping this we're in April, but having an advantage to visit with the congressman, get a first-hand account. Remember, these are just people. So this account you're hearing is in real time. I mean, I'm watching it live on television, and my heart's breaking. And then knowing you're there and people that we know are there, it was frightening to watch, Donald.
Yeah.
It was just not natural. So as you move forward now, your colleagues are people like you and I. How do you put this back together to create relationships? I mean, obviously you sit in the majority party at this particular time, but how do you rebuild relationships after a day like that?
It's a great question. And the reality of it, for some, it's almost impossible. For others, it goes back to how can we be practical? First and foremost, hold those accountable. There is no middle ground. We as a country will find them and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. Number 2, security has increased. But it is tough because we came back later that night and all of a sudden voted by many of them not to certify the election. There's a reality here that we are looking at, but they're through 2 prisms. Reality of what's going on, the truth, and then this fantasy land. Now, I have taken the path that our nation, through 435 districts, send their representatives to get something done. Doesn't mean I have to go out and have dinner and a date with them, has nothing to do with it. But if we can come to a common place for the American people, I will work with them. Doesn't mean I like them, doesn't matter. We're here for the district, and that's my job. But in the back of my mind, for those who seem to be encouraging it, I'll never forget.
You said it, it's hard to get your mind around. You are an optimistic person, it's how you were raised. So as you visit with us today, you're beginning debate on the president's infrastructure plan, which has a big price tag, has great ambition, certainly helps the Northeast in a great deal, including where we're standing. How do you see that unfolding?
Well, for the previous 4 years, we heard the last administration promise infrastructure. And why do you say that? Because we all know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, jobs that have been deferred for years and years. The difference now is there is a real plan and there's a pathway to get this done. So that for those of you who drive 295, the work gets done there. For the ports, that gets done there. Potholes, bridges, all that has been deferred. Because remember, you can defer maintenance and get away with it for a little while, but that day is coming, and that's where we're at. You mentioned there's a big price tag. I like to say there's a bigger project list that we need that price tag, but it's investment in American jobs and in American infrastructure.
And the critics who are talking about the structure of what money will be spent on is not infrastructure. Are they just not recognizing that broadband and the world has changed, that infrastructure's definition is different now?
For those who don't understand the importance of broadband, go around this country during a pandemic when kids are at home trying to learn with an internet that doesn't work. That means that child's not getting her educational opportunity. Broadband's part of it. We still have lead pipes in the ground. My hometown of Camden, they have not used the water fountains in 20 years because of the lead. My God, we got to get that taken care of. And job after job. Remember, there is a big price tag, but that's an investment in America. The last administration gave away almost the exact amount, $1.9 trillion, in a tax break to those who don't need it. We want to reinvest in America, and that's what we're going to do.
It's a big undertaking, but it's long overdue.
Oh,
it's simply long overdue. We have had the opportunity to visit with Congressman Donald Norcross, who's a friend, and I say to all of you, is accessible. So if you don't think that your federal government is within your reach, you call his office. He has an outstanding staff, and they will respond and they will help. Congressman, thank you very much.
Or maybe they can catch me down at Don and Bird's. I'm going to go get a sausage dog and a shake.
I think that's how they close this segment out. So priorities are understood. Stay right with us. We're coming back. Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
Welcome back to Eye on Paulsboro. I have a great privilege now to visit with Mark Roberts. He is the president, CEO of CAMcare. Of course, many people who live in Paulsboro, surrounding area, know it to be on Delaware Street. Fine service. It is a federally qualified health clinic, which many years ago was a foreign term, not so foreign anymore, certainly important. So Mark, thank you for taking time with us.
Thank you.
We visited after a ceremony where you pointed out the importance of the federal money coming that's going to give the operation a boost. But a lot of people drive by CAMcare and still don't know what it is. So what is CAMcare?
So CAMcare is a great question. That's a great question. So CAMcare is a federally qualified health center, and we provide care to primary care to the underserved. But we're open for anyone and to anyone. So whether or not they're insured, we can care for them. And across all of our sites, we provide internal medicine, pediatrics, dental, OBGYN care, eye care, behavioral health. So there's a lot of services that we provide across all our centers.
And is all that available at the Paulsboro location, or is it spread out through your system?
We have dental that's available here, and internal medicine and pediatrics. We do, and part of our expansion will be to add additional services every day per week. So yes, it will be here.
So in addition to those services, if a person isn't feeling well, do they only come to CAMcare if they don't have insurance? Or who do you look to serve? If they're watching this show, who are you talking to?
So we're talking to and treating everyone, actually. So if anyone is insured, yes, we do treat them, and we also have a network of specialists that we can refer them to for care that's beyond primary. But if someone is uninsured, that's a great question. They can also come here, and we have what's called a sliding fee scale, which means that if someone doesn't have the money to pay, they don't have to. If they have very little, then they're put into that what we call federal poverty line scale, and the funds are, given to us depending on their income.
And Mark, there's so many wonderful programs out there to help people with health care. Do you offer service if someone walks in and does not have insurance and maybe at the poverty level or below? Do you work them into programs? Do you get them signed up?
Yes, great question. So we do. We have financial counselors that will work with anyone to get them signed up and into a program. We'll get them to Medicaid, and if eligible, to Medicare, and other programs as well with the HMOs.
So if there's part of a message out of our visit today, as I look to the camera, the question is very simple. Should someone be shy about coming here if they don't know if they can afford to pay? Should people just come and you'll work with them somehow, some way?
Absolutely,
Is
absolutely.
that an exaggeration, or is that how you approach this?
No, that's exactly how we approach it. So, as a matter of fact, we take walk-ins. So you don't have to actually have an appointment. You can come, you can just walk right into registration and tell them, I don't have insurance. And a financial counselor will come out and just work through it, but you will be seen that day.
I think this is such a valuable service, and it continues to play an important role across the landscape because it seems like CAMcare has grown to serve multiple layers of people now.
Absolutely.
And the services are valuable. And CAMcare, what hospital would you be associated with if someone working through your system? Does that make a difference, or how does that work at the back end if someone has to have that kind of care?
So it really depends on the region. So in Camden City, it would be any of the hospitals that are there. Here, any of the local hospitals that we can refer to as well. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Visiting with the president and CEO of CAMcare. If you do not have a primary care physician, if you don't know where to go, it is a good place to stop, because if they can't serve you, I suspect you'll get them to where they will get service.
Absolutely.
So
we will.
So as a point of contact, if you don't know, visit a CAMcare and you will know. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome right back. Welcome back. With me now is Marc Kamp, and Marc, of course, has been a friend for my entire adult memory, and he is called upon in so many capacities Today he visits because the 4th of July parade is going to be held this year, and everyone's really looking forward to it. We had a year off. And this actually would have been an anniversary year, correct, Mark? I mean, if we hadn't...
Last year should have been our 30th.
Wow.
And it's the 30th, so we're calling this our 30th since we didn't have one last year. Yeah. And it's not 4th of July parade, it's Independence Day parade, because this year it'll be on Saturday the 3rd.
I'm so confused by all that. But Sunday would be an awkward day to have it,
yes.
right? So
yeah, traditionally, if it's whenever the 4th falls on Sunday, we've always gone with either Saturday or Monday.
Now, it's a very important piece of this. Many of you have helped over the years with the Friends of the Fourth. You know, the bands have to be paid. There are expenses. The municipality helps. The refinery has been a large contributor, but we really need your help. So, Mark, why don't you pick it up there because we need help.
Yes, we have 2 string bands booked already, and that takes up about 2/3 of what we have allotted for the parade right now. So the donations from the Friends will determine how many more musical units we can afford to bring in. We have the Greater Kensington. We have the Jersey String Band, which is the former Broomall String Band. And we have, of course, South Pacific Island Dancers for the grand finale. Yeah, okay. It wouldn't be a Paulsboro parade without that.
Well, people really look forward to that.
Unfortunately, Elvis will not be with us this year. He has retired.
Well, we don't know that. We're hearing that. But, you know, Elvis has the most unique way of popping up now and then. So, yes. There could be an Elvis of some kind.
It's possible.
So tell us, remind people how they can help.
Okay. Well, first, with the Friends, donation letters should be going out within the next week to those that have contributed in the past. If you haven't contributed and would like to, just send a check to Friends of the Fourth, Post Office Box 181, Paulsboro.
Yeah, and people will be recognized for their contribution on the reviewing stand.
Any donation, $25 or more, your name will be posted at the reviewing stand.
And there are various categories. So if you're in a position to be even more generous, first of all, everything helps. But if you can be more generous, you'll be even in a more prominent position in the signage. And that's at the reviewing stand at the high school where we have the bleacher sitting. So we end up with 300, 400, 500 people down there by the time the parade arrives.
Yes. And also along Broad Street and Delaware Street, usually it's continuous people. I've ridden the route a couple times before the parade started, and it's a nice showing.
And Mark, parade start time, how about some details that people can...
Okay, registration opens at 9 o'clock. If you want to pre-register, you can contact us, paulsboroparade@gmail.com, and we'll send you out a registration form. Or you can pick them up at Weiss's or Borough Hall. Bicycles, carriages, wagons do not pre-register. You do that the day of the parade. Judging for the bicycle categories will be at 9:30 at Paulsboro Plaza. Judging for the major floats and marching units is done at the reviewing stand. After the ceremonies are done at the reviewing stand, we will hand out trophies.
Oh, and it's just a fun day. It is a small town parade, but just because it's being hosted in Paulsboro doesn't mean that others aren't invited to participate and attend, because the more local color, neighboring communities are all invited and welcome to join because it's a lot of fun. And it's a wonderful parade route because between Broad Street and Delaware Street, there are parking lots. So you can park your car, you can sit on the hood of the car, you can be on the curb, you can be in shaded areas. But most importantly, we need participants, so don't be shy. If you want to be in the parade, it's a fun parade.
Yes. For the bicycle category, as usual, we have 4 $25 cash awards, which will be given by random raffle to any kids that register for the bicycle thing. So they may not get a trophy, but they may come out with $25.
Well, and the kids also, just for thinking ahead, kids have to wear a helmet. Very important.
Yes. Yeah, must wear a helmet, must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. For the non-bicycle categories, well, we prefer you to pre-register. If you don't pre-register and show up that day, means that you'll probably end up in the back of the parade, because those that pre-register get preferential positioning.
Yeah, which is important. So parade steps off 10 o'clock, Marksville?
Parade starts at 10, gets down to the high school around 11 o'clock or so, and by 12:15, you can go home and have your picnic.
Oh, it's a very good day. Please help if you can with being a friend of the 4th. Show up if you can, because the participants in the parade like to see people along the parade route. And if you've got an idea of what you like to be in the parade, because the bicycles aren't limited to just little kids. We have all kinds of things.
Okay, our theme for this year is celebrating the proud heritage of Paulsboro.
Oh, Mark, I think that sounds reasonable. Before we close this segment, Mark asked to mention Paulsboro Day, which comes up in September, which seems like a lifetime away.
It'll be 2 years since we've had one, so it's a small lifetime. Paulsboro Day this year will be on Saturday, September 11th. It'll be at the Rastelli Field, which is the football practice field adjacent to the ExxonMobil parking lot. If you're a vendor and want to participate, vendor forms, to those that have participated in the past, the mailing went out a week or so ago. If not, if you did not get one and want to participate, our chairman of the vendor group this year is Mary Harris, who's also president of the Senior Citizens. You can contact her, you can contact me, and we'll get you a vendor registration.
And the date again, Mark, on that, the date?
The date is September 11th.
Well, it's a fairly significant date,
Yes.
Not hard to remember. A lot of information there. First up is the 4th of July parade. Jump in and help if you can. Volunteers are always needed, by the way. Contact Mark if you can put a couple hours in that day. It goes by very quickly, and it's a lot of fun. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
Welcome back. Now it's time for Community Notes with Irma Stevenson. We're way behind. This is the only reason we do the show, by the way. Irma was beginning to tell a story. I'm going to have her tell it now because this is fascinating. Irma gets a phone call from a number she recognizes.
It was 856-423-0367, and it said Irma Candle. I looked up and I said, Mother, you're getting thrown out. Or did you find Daddy? And he said, you got to go. 2 hours later, John, the same number. I said, what did I do wrong now, John?
Didn't do anything wrong. So did she answer when you spoke?
No, she didn't answer. So
Probably very busy.
Well, and she'll call again.
Only my mother. That's a spooky story.
It is. I showed Walter to verify it. Happy birthdays to Tony Salvatore, and please go to his store at Fio's and support him, John.
Hey, he's got great inventory.
Yes, he does. Brenda Gentile Magazoo. We have the DiGiovacchino's twins, Vito and Eugene.
Yeah, can't tell them apart.
No, well, I won't say how they say I can, but I'm not saying it. Donna Williams Dombrowski, Stephanie Stevenson Hamilton, Rita Meyer Costin Bader, Donald Doak Sr., Joan Conway, Coach Bob Frederick, Debbie Mincy, Eddie Ravel, Bryn Costin Bader, April Nordruff Ziegler, Derek and Devin Horton, the twins, Bruce Munyon, Gail DeMarco, DeLance DeBraxon, Chris Costenbader, Sarah Marlar, Jamie Keenan-Thomas, Mariah Thornton, my little great-granddaughter, Michael Diamond, Timmy Candle, and my aunt, Doris Wilkins Stevenson, class of 1939, going to be 100 this month. So happy birthdays. Anniversaries are Nancy and Mark Gaunt, April and Ray Ziegler, Cindy and Nick Leparati, and Major Claude and Kim Berthold of the United States Marine Corps, Val and Chuck Quackenbausch. I miss Chuck.
I haven't seen Chuck in a while.
Yeah, he's kind of disabled, but he's on the computer. And so happy birthdays and happy anniversaries.
It's a pretty good list, Irma.
Yeah. Oh gosh, guess who I forgot? Michael Dombrowski, Preston Berthold, John Haddock Jr., Danielle Carter Green, Gay Johnson, William Duke Sr., and Tiffany O'Leary. Oh my goodness, John, my writing is getting worse.
No, your writing's fine, Irma. You just can't see.
No, I should be. Don't forget the 4th of July parade and Paulsboro Day. Just be there and support us and come on out. If I can march at 18, 2 miles, you can come out in the parade or stand there long and cheer us on, right, John?
Wonderful, Irma. And we're trying to get back in sync with more regular tapings of the show. The problem has been my schedule. People have asked about the show. We enjoy doing the show, and we need this conduit of information to complement what takes place on Facebook and how people talk to one another today, because we've been busy in town. We've had a delicatessen that's worth $1 million, apparently, or $1 billion or something of that nature. We've had some unfortunate incidents with people doing stupid things with guns, which they shouldn't be doing. So there's a lot to talk about. But there's also a lot of very good things to talk about, and that's what this show is always focused on. That being said, Irma?
The good will overcome the bad, John. And Paulsboro pride.
Always does. For Amy Cook Buchter, behind the camera, she corrected me after the last show. For Fred Buchter, and for our producer, Bill Crane, who couldn't be with us today.
See you on Broad Street and see you at the 4th of July parade.
Till next time.
Do you